Hi, everybody. Craig from URComped here, and I've got a super special guest, somebody whose channel is absolutely on fire. I remember, looking at the Hot 100 URComp chart and just seeing this name, Bluffin Bob, come out of nowhere, and now he's just a fixture in the top 5. And so I just could not wait to talk to him. So, Bobby, thanks for being here.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited. And I go by Bluff online, and yeah, it's been an incredible journey. Not even a full year yet, but not stopping anytime soon. So,
Well, and I saw the most recent video, you were celebrating 350,000 subscribers on YouTube. So congratulations.
thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's a huge milestone. And like when I started this, I did not think that anything like that was going to happen, especially in this time frame. But yeah, I'm super grateful and super excited for the future. So.
Well, yeah, I definitely want to get into your backstory and have everyone learn more about your channel. But at the top, how do people find you if they want to go see your content?
Yeah, so pretty much on every platform, it's Bluff, just Bluff, BLUFF, or Bluffin Bob. So BLUFFIN and then BOB. That's pretty much every platform.
Okay, and then, so I want to hear the whole story. So what were you doing before you started your channel?
Okay, so I used to be a automotive technician for the Jaguar Land Rover brand. So I did that for about 6 years. And by the time I had ended it, I was actually in Arizona at the time. So I started as an apprentice in Las Vegas, where I'm from. I was there for about 3 years or 3 to 4 years. I ended up getting fired and losing my job. Then I went to Dallas, Texas, and I was working at a Jaguar Land Rover store there. And I also got fired from that one. And then I moved to Arizona. So like my girlfriend was closer to her family. And it was just a slow pace store. So it wasn't really in my favor. And then that just really, really motivated me to start Bluff as a whole. So
now, were you creating content? Were you filming yourself fixing these Jaguars and Land Rovers, or like was this your first foray into content creation?
No, so actually years ago when I was like in my teenage years, I actually used to ride like, the Razor scooters.
Yeah.
I used to ride those professionally, like freestyle. So I would do like, double backflips and front flips and stuff like that. I've competed in Nitro Circus. I've stayed at Travis Pastrana's house. So I used to do that professionally for about 8 years. So I kind of was already in content creation space, or like I've done some sort of content creation. It was a smaller niche though. So that wasn't, Bluff isn't my first entry into any type of content creation. So luckily I did understand a little bit about social media before then.
Got it. Okay. And is that channel still live? So if people are loving Bluffin Bob, can they go see you?
Yeah. So I don't have a channel personally with the, my history of the scootering stuff. But if you just look up my first and last name, it's Bobby, Bobby Rivas, Rivas. And then you could just type in like scooter. You'll see like all the videos, and you'll see like on my personal Instagram, it's the same thing. It's Bobby Rivas, but with 2 S's at the end. And you'll see like all my videos, face plants, busting my teeth out, knocking myself out, all that stuff.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
That's wild. So then, so you've got that background, you got into auto mechanic, that trade. And then what was it that you're like, all right, I'm getting in, I'm starting Bluffin Bob. Tell us that story.
So I'm obviously a degenerate gambler. I'm born and raised in Vegas. Both my parents were in the industry as dealers. So, I was basically introduced to gambling very young because my dad was a poker player and he would play a lot of online poker. So I'm bred for this basically. It's in my blood. Now, I would occasionally go gamble here and there, and I would do stupid bets. Like I would do like $2,000 on red for some reason, like it's just stupid. But so I was really into a lot of the gambling, like social media stuff, where I would see like Bretsky, if you're familiar with Bretsky, Vegas Matt would pop up on my feed as well. And then the big jackpot, Raja. So I would see those 3 a lot on my feed. And I really loved Bretsky's content. Like it was just, he was like the first person that I was introduced to that was like younger generation, just like a true degenerate gambler. And he would add like comedic skits or phrases and jokes to it. So I kind of just thought like I can do that. And yeah, that's pretty much how it kind of took off.
Okay. So the first video, like, was it, were you thinking, did you plan it out, or is it just like, you know what, I'm going to gamble today anyway. Let's just open up the camera, start filming. Like, how did that first video happen?
So I actually did a lot of studying before I released anything. I watched like pretty much every content creator in the gambling space, and I watched what they would post, how long their posts would be, what platforms they're on. I did like a lot of studying beforehand, because if I want to do something and attack it, I want to do it at 110%. So I really did a lot of studying behind the scenes, and then I kind of just created like what I thought would be perfect, where like the way that the videos are filmed, the things that you say in the videos, how you do the bets, being funny and relatable and everything like that. So there was also someone else at the time, Tim Naki, was doing a 10 for every follower that he had on Instagram. He would bet 10 cents on one bet. So that's how that was my first video that I posted on Instagram. And at the time I had 0 followers. So my first video is, today's day one of betting 10 cents for every follower I have on Instagram. I have 0 followers, so I'm not betting a thing today. Now, day 2, let's see how it goes. And then day 2, I think I already had like 3,000 followers. And then within a month, I think I was at 100,000.
Wait. All right. So you post this one video. I got nothing. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Were you buying ads behind it, or how did you go from 0 to 3,000 just with that video? Like, how did you start spreading?
I promoted it on my personal Instagram, and then a lot of my friends shared it as well. So it was all like organic. I have never, and probably never will, pay for ads or ad space to promote anything. I'm all for like the organic growth. So everything that I've done is all organic.
That's awesome. Okay. And so you started with Instagram, and I heard that TikTok, you got a lot of growth on TikTok. So maybe what was that path from like your first channel, your first, start on Instagram to like, okay, now I need to start on TikTok. Now I need to, because you were late to, I shouldn't say late, I mean, but you came into YouTube relatively recently, especially for how many subscribers you have. So maybe you could walk us through like, okay, I posted that, I got 3,000 the second day, and then what are the next few steps?
Yeah, so I really attacked the short form videos. I came up with a plan that was pretty strategic, I thought, where the more videos you post, and if you can create more viral content, you kind of get your face plastered everywhere, so you become a recognizable face. And Bluff was just such like a perfect name, where you can blend the face and the name, and like you'll never forget it. Plus, like I have the distinctive tattoos and the big white teeth. Like it's so many distinctive things. So I was really attacking the strategy of posting my content everywhere that I can, and also getting on like those random gambling pages that repost people's content. I was posting as much as I can. I was posting three shorts a day on every platform. So YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. TikTok, I think what helped a lot was getting into the table game filming like as soon as possible. And El Cortez was able to let me do that within about 2.5 weeks of starting the content creation in the gambling space. So like I said, I really did attack the short form content. And once I started implementing the table games over the virtuals and the slots, it was just like insane. Like the growth was unreal. I can't even fathom. It was incredible.
And so moving 2.5 weeks, that's a fast ramp, because I know a lot of people say, oh, I want to play more table games, but it's really hard to get approval. Did you have some buddies that were at El Cortez that helped you get approval that fast, or how did you make that jump so quickly?
So I actually emailed a whole bunch of different casinos, and none of them replied to me because, I was just in the space. It was my first week in the space, and I'm emailing all these casinos, and I was like, hey, like I understand I'm new, but this is my plan. This is what I want to do. Not a single one replied back to me. And I was like, oh, that sucks. Bretsky ended up giving me a shout out on like day 6 of my series. And Alex is his name, Boulder Bets on Instagram. he reached out and was like, hey, like, I love your content. Like, you are going to blow up. Like, I can tell by your personality and everything. And, you know, someone like at his size being told, you know, telling me that was like pretty motivating. So a week after that, Alex or Boulder Bets had DM me and was like, hey, I'm going to be in Vegas. Like, I'm going to film at El Cortez. If you want to come through, just hang out. And I was asking him, oh, like, do you think it'd be possible to, you know, that I can get table game filming and whatnot? And he's like, I can't promise you anything, but I'll try. And on my way there, he ended up calling me and he was like, hey, like, you won't believe this. I was talking to the general manager there, Adam. He's like a really good friend of mine now. I was talking to the general manager there and I was like, hey, I have a friend that's coming and he'd like to film. Adam asked for my social and he's like, oh, it's Bluff. And Adam was like, oh, Bluffin Bob. Like, yeah, I love his content. Like, yeah, have him come down. And, you know, it's just history. Like, that's just history from there. So, or the rest is history. So, as from that day, I basically filmed at El Cortez almost every day. So that's about early May.
Wow. Okay. And so obviously their trajectory's been parabolic, like a rocket ship. It's been crazy.
Yeah.
How early on, because obviously it's a gamble, right? I mean, you went from, you know, a trade and then you're like, I'm going to make it in the content creation world, but nothing's guaranteed. How long did it take before you're like, you know what? I think I got a career here. Like when did you realize, hey, I'm not going to have to go back to a day job?
So it really dawned on me. So I had one short, like, really blow up within 2.5, 3 weeks. It was definitely before the 3-week mark of my first video to this video that I'm talking about. I posted it on YouTube, and fortunately, I was able to get monetized very early on. I did a $6,900 blackjack hand, and that video. This is my first week of YouTube, by the way. That video right now is at 100 million views, over 100 million.
Dang.
So by the time I wasn't even paying attention that much because I was just posting and I wouldn't, like, you know, I don't look at my likes. I would read comments and stuff, but I don't look at my likes or anything and, like, wish I had more likes. But I remember one point I was like, how am I gaining like 15,000 subscribers a day? I don't know what's going on. And I ended up looking, I saw that short was blown up. And I think at that point, it was at about 50 million views. And in shorts revenue, it's right under $5,000. And I was like, that's it. So seriously, within 2.5 weeks, quit my job.
Nice.
So I went and filmed at El Cortez. And then I came back to my job and I was like, hey, I need another 3 days off because I was living in Arizona at the time. And I was like, hey, I need another 3 days off. And my boss is like, you need to go focus on that. Like, he basically forced me to resign. So I was like, all right. So I just, as soon as we ended that, I went home, told my girlfriend, I was like, all right, we're going back to Vegas. We were back in Arizona for less than 24 hours and then went straight back to Vegas. And I lived at El Cortez for over a month, just making videos every single day.
Wow. And they seem like a very forward-thinking property where they're like, hey, come on, you're going to keep producing this. Content's going viral. We got a room for you.
Yep. Yeah, exactly how it went. They really, like, Adam is super genuine guy. He really understands the power of, you know, social media marketing and influencers and how much, like, influence we have on an audience. And it really does drive a lot of traffic to their property. So he really grasped that. And I am forever grateful for being able to do that with him. So that is why I'm always at El Cortez. It's awesome. They don't pay me a thing, by the way. So I'm just letting you know.
So what was it like? 'Cause I mean, you have, again, this trajectory that you blew up so quick. Like, do you remember the first time somebody recognized you? I mean, I guess one in the casino, but then outside the casino, what was that like for you?
It was weird. Like, it was myself and my girlfriend. We were going to go watch a movie, and as we're walking into a movie theater, this guy and his girlfriend was walking out, and he was Bluffin Bob, and I was like, that is so crazy. Like, I couldn't believe it. And I wasn't even like that. I wasn't even like crazy big at that point. Maybe 40 to 50,000 followers on Instagram. But now I think I just hit 240,000. Now it's like crazy. Like, I just had lunch and at the lunch spot, someone had recognized me, and I was running errands earlier. Another person recognized me. So yeah, it's crazy now. I love it though.
Now, do you feel like now you got to dress up a little bit better when you go out? Like,
No,
I don't want to have
I've
the stain on my shirt and the sweatpants. Or
no. You can ask my girlfriend. I've always been like the type of person that I do not really care like what I wear. I actually wear like I'll wear the same clothes every single day. Like this is the first time I'm wearing a white t-shirt in months. Normally it's a black t-shirt with a black hoodie, and then I have sweatpants on every single day. I just like to be comfortable, and that's what I like to wear. Plus, it's just, neutral colors, and I really like to be comfortable. And I have sweat, stains on my sweatpants, and I'll have like toothpaste marks on my hoodie. And my girlfriend forces me to change, but if it wasn't for her, I would definitely wear the same clothes every day.
well, I can tell you're just super authentic, genuine guy. I think that's what attracts people to your channel. But at the same time, earlier we talked about, you said you're very deliberate. You analyze a lot of influencers, and maybe you can talk a little bit more about like how you use that, how you can be strategic about your content while also be like, hey, genuinely you.
Yeah. So like I said, when I try to achieve anything, I'm going to go at it with, 110% effort. So what I really did was I studied a lot of Bretsky's content because, he attracts a lot of that younger audience. And then I did a lot of Vegas Matt studying because he has that older demographic that, everyone loves Vegas Matt. Everyone loves Bretsky. I also did a little bit of, Boulder Bets because he does a lot of strategies. But I think what helps when you do strategies online, like you're going to, like, hey, you have an 88% chance of winning this bet and whatnot. It's nice to have like a personality behind it. So what a lot of people like to do is they film their content, POV, which is good. And I do that too. But when I first started out, it really helped having someone film me. So because like I said, I wanted to plaster my face everywhere. So if I'm filming POV like at a table, my face isn't in the video, people repost it, and that doesn't help my brand at all. So I really started out pumping videos where someone was filming me. I would make stupid little jokes that were, cheesy or funny. And then I would also, a lot of people didn't like it, but I think it drove a lot of traffic to my channel where, blackjack, you're not supposed to split tens. No one splits tens, so I do it. I was splitting tens like a madman. Those videos would go viral like crazy. I would see a viral video that's related to gambling, like someone had found a ripped $100 bill on the floor and then put it into a slot machine and won money. I had a ripped $100 bill on the floor, taped together, put it in the machine and lost. Like it was just, I didn't want to say copy, but I mean, you got to follow the trend. So I think that's what I applied with my brand is following trends, I'm trying to create viral stuff. And once again, just plaster my face everywhere. But still, I'm being authentic to myself because that's just who I am as a person. I'm not going to get upset at me losing a $200 blackjack hand because the way I look at it is I walk into a casino. If I have $5,000, that I'm going to kiss it goodbye. That's what I'm expecting. If I win anything, if I win $100, if I walk in with $5,000 into a casino and I walk out with 5,100, I'm ecstatic. It's the greatest feeling ever. So, I understand it's really hard, especially with money being involved, like just trying to stay true to yourself. But I've been this way as far as I can remember, and I didn't really come from much. So being put in this position is like whatever I get out of it, I'm very, very grateful for and very appreciative.
That's awesome. So you mentioned a few different creators that you learn from in the gaming space. Do you also look to influencers, creators outside of gaming and or is it not as relevant? Do you feel like it's only gaming stuff that you can learn from?
I haven't really tried much out of the gaming. I try to keep it more gaming related. I don't want to get too like off script, I guess, because typically people are following you to watch you gamble. They don't want to watch you play golf and then do this and that. I really try to stay around the gambling, but I also try to add like some comedic stuff into it where it doesn't go off brand, basically. Like I still want to stay in the gaming space, but I want to just add like a little pizzazz to it, but not too much where it, can affect your brand basically.
But are there any, and that's a great point. And so, because people are tuning in because they want to watch gambling, and it's like, if they want to watch golf, they'd probably rather watch Rory McIlroy or something,
Yeah.
Like, but are there any like tips, techniques, like Mr. Beast, for example, is like, I've listened to podcasts with him where he's just like you, like super strategic, super analyzing, like what's working, what's not. So do you ever go outside of your niche? Not necessarily to like create content outside your niche, but like see a Mr. Beast or somebody like that that's like, oh, that's actually a cool idea I could bring in the gaming space?
Yes, actually. So what a lot of creators don't like to do is when they see their content reposted from like, a random page that's just stealing people's content and posting it and using it and trying to drive traffic to their website or whatever it may be, and they report it to get it taken down, I actually let them. I do not care. It's very similar to like the IRL streamers like Kai Cenat or iShowSpeed, where they actually hire clippers, or what they call it, where they'll take, portions of your stream that are high energy or, crazy events that happen during your stream and repost it just to plaster your face around and, keep you relevant and whatnot. So I actually use that as a benefit to myself, where it's basically like I get free clippers where I don't have to pay them for the views or anything like that. They get to use my content. They get to grow their pages. If they want to make a meme page or a gambling, related page, they basically get full access to my content, and it plasters my face, which then helps what my original plan was. So that's one strategic approach that I'll bring to it. I can't think of another one offhand though, but that one is definitely the main one.
Nice. Now, you mentioned earlier having somebody, like you made a decision early on that makes a ton of sense. Like, I want my face there. That's how I build my brand. So obviously having somebody there, it's either, a good friend that you're asking a favor for and you can only ask so many favors, or it's somebody you're having to pay. So I guess how do you think about investing in your channel?
So fortunately, early on, my girlfriend was filming a lot of the videos, but once we got to Vegas, there's a lot of concerns with cigarette smoke. So my girlfriend kind of stays out of the casinos. So fortunately, one of my really good friends that I actually worked with at Jaguar in Vegas, his name is Brandon. He was all for it. He's super supportive and wants me to succeed. So it's definitely someone that I love to keep around, and he's always been that way with me. So he's basically been helping me film for months. And for a long time, I told him, I was like, hey, like, this is going to pay off. I know it's going to pay off. Like, but everything that I'm making from YouTube is like being pushed right back into the videos because, I'm reinvesting into my brand and trying to make my videos better and, gambling a little more and doing more videos. So, I let him know. I was like, hey, like, and he totally does not mind. He tells me all the time. But, I just recently started paying him a little bit where, it's like, I'm not going to say it's worth your time, but just enough to like make it worthwhile. And I actually just had a talk to him last night where I'm ready to like really take my brand to the next level and just really produce a lot of content every single day, live streams, shorts, long forms. So it's going to cost, a lot of money, but I'm investing into my brand, and I'm really going to pump a lot of content here soon, probably by the end of this month in February. So I just had a talk with him last night, and I let him know, like, hey, this is what I'm going to offer you. It's more than what you're making at Jag right now, and I need you to quit your job next week. So, and he's totally down for it. He agreed to it. And I told him, like, this is going to be huge. Like, I can't wait. And, I was like, I'm going to make it where you will never have to work like a corporate job ever again. Like, this is going to be sick. So that's just how I've been reinvesting into my brand. Like last month is one of the first months where I actually was like profitable on my gambling with YouTube revenue. It covered all my losses and stuff like that. So YouTube is just constantly growing, and I don't want to become stagnant or, repetitive content. So I really wanted him to quit his job so we can start up new series and come up with, focus more on creative ideas for the brand and for the channel to keep the insane growth on its path. So
Congratulations. That's so exciting. I love hearing that.
yeah.
No,
Thank you. I
and,
appreciate it.
so-
Yeah, I'm super happy for him. So
No, that's huge. That's huge. Everybody make sure to subscribe on every channel, Bluffin Bob. So, so do you do the editing, and has that been you, or are you mainly content creation? Your friends doing editing, or is there at this point not much post-production you're having to do?
there's not much editing that goes on. Like truly the videos I don't have like crazy sound effects or, funny memes inserted. It's really just it's basically a raw video that's like, cleaned up on the edges and the video's uploaded. So it's just like an intro, it's me gambling and an outro. And like, I just wanted to keep the videos very simple and kind of straight to the point with some obviously like funny moments and stuff like that. So, but I haven't, that is the next goal, is to get more in depth with video editing. So that's why I'm bringing Brandon on full time. So like I said, because I really want to focus more on the creative direction of the channel and kind of bring a new spice to it, like a refresh, basically.
Nice. Are there any challenges you've faced? I mean, it sounds like, you just entered it in such a well thought out manner, and you've really been able to take off so quickly. And sounds like bandwidth, like, hey, we're really taking off. I need one more person, and Brandon's been able to jump in. So you've got that. But are there any other challenges that you've faced in this path, or that you see on the horizon to get into that next level?
Maybe just, I understand that, like, in gambling, it's really hard to not be repetitive because there's only so many different games. There's only so many different things you can do. So, but I also don't want to I don't want to lose the value of a dollar where I'm doing, $2,000 slot spins and I'm doing $10,000 blackjack hands for 30 minutes to like make a video to make all these people happy. Like, it's just, I don't want to lose the grasp of reality, basically. So I think what could potentially be an issue is, a lot of people want to see more higher limits, and they want to see different games, and they want to see more slots. And, I'm not a slot person, but I understand that, for the content creation, you kind of have to do what you don't like at times. And so I think one challenge is definitely going to be like maybe the limit that I'm playing at. The I don't want to play super crazy high limits all the time, because I like making my content like relatable. Like, people can go into the casino with $1,000. It's more relatable for someone to go into a casino with 1,000 or $500 and gamble their heart out for 4 hours versus someone going in with $20,000 doing $3,000 blackjack hands and stuff like that. I really want to stay more relatable to the main demographic, the main audience. So I think that's one possible challenge. But honestly, my audience is very, I feel like I've built like a really cool community, and everyone is super awesome and super cool. So I feel like I won't have that, but obviously I always still look at it like a possibility. Another challenge, I mean, during the growth, I did have an issue where I had taken, someone had lit a firework on 4th of July while we're out celebrating. Someone lit a firework on 4th of July and ended up tipping over, and it shot a mortar into my left eye.
Oh my gosh.
Which it kind of took me out for about a month. I was struggling a lot with it. So I basically lost my vision in my left eye, and I went through 2 surgeries and countless doctor visits. And the most unfortunate part was that it put a huge dent in my initial budget for the brand, because I had just quit my job, so I lost my insurance, and 2 months later, a month and a half later, this happens, and everything, they can't work on my eye unless I pay for it up front. So it really put a dent in my initial bankroll. And then it also put a dent just in my, in my spirits, because I was always in pain. And, losing an eye or losing your vision in one eye is not, I try my hardest to stay, positive about it, but there's still those days initially where it's upsetting. I mean, I've gotten over that point now, and I'm very grateful that I still have one good eye. So that's how I look at it now. But yeah, that was one challenge starting out, and then that other challenge in the future, I think, could be a possibility.
Yeah. Hey, no, I've talked to a lot of influencers now, and off camera, I think a lot of them say they wish they hadn't gone up to higher limits. And so, because it's got to be a draw because you're going to get the comments that are like, oh, play more, because it's not their money. And then like once you go up, you can't go back down.
Exactly.
It seems like I think you've got great foresight in like seeing that and resisting the urge until you got 10 million subscribers and you got so much money coming in from YouTube, you can bet whatever you want. But I think that's the smart.
Yeah, I think instead of maybe doing higher limits, I would do like more things for the audience where like I'm going to implement something where I fly someone from the audience or a fan out once a month, and they're going to like have an all-inclusive stay. They get to gamble, they get to be in a video. So instead of like upping my limits, I'm just going to invest it in other ways. Like we're starting up the merch. We're going to start up a traveling series where we travel to different casinos once a week, like flying around everywhere. So I'm just going to invest in other places and then kind of keep the budget per video around the same. I'm sure in the future it'll grow a little bit, but it'll stay around the same.
So with the new, I want to ask you about your new channel too, Bobby and Dame. So
yeah,
plug that for sure. With the new feature going around where you're visiting a new casino every week, is that something like as you've grown, you're just getting inbound like, hey, I see your content when you come play here, or is that you reaching out to different casinos?
So I've had a few casinos reach out to come play there, and very transparent. They've offered to pay me and everything. I haven't accepted anything because I don't like necessarily feel like I need to do that. Like I would rather just show up to a casino, film something that's, like I said, like I want to stay true to myself. I want to stay very authentic, where I don't have to say, hey, like shout out to this casino for allowing us to come here 5 times in a video every 30 seconds, stuff like that. So I want to keep the videos more authentic. Like, hey, this happened. We're flying to Colorado. We're going to go play at this casino. And, that's the only plug that they get. And then, we just gamble, basically. That's all I want to focus on. So it's more of like myself and Brandon, once he's full on or full time, we'll be reaching out to a lot of casinos, trying our best to really get permission at a lot of them, just so we can really create this travel series to the best of our ability. So
nice. And then as we wrap up, tell me about Bobby and Dame. So that's a new channel. What's the goal with that? So
honestly, there's no goal. Dame is my girlfriend, by the way. So Dame has, like, ever since I met her, she's mentioned how like when she was 16, she wanted to be like a vlogger and stuff like that. So as Bluff took off, that became more of an actual possibility because I wasn't, at my 9 to 5 and I was at home with her. So she was able to just like film our daily activities, and it kind of helped that I already had an audience. So I was able to drive them to that channel as well. So it's really, I love the second channel because it really gives her the opportunity to live out her dream, but it's not just her dream. I'm also part of it, and I love that as well. So I think it's just something cool that we can both really like hang out and discuss and be a part of together, versus Bluff just like, I'm just at the casino, every day of the week by myself and she's not with me, where Bobby and Dame is something we can actually do together, every day and look forward to and, rewatch our memories. My goal with that channel is being able to just look back at our memories and, see what we did that day and like all the things that we used to do, like when we grow old and stuff. So I think that's like my goal for that channel. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. How do people find Bobby and Dame? And it's DAYM, right?
DAYM. Yeah. So it's just Bobby and Dame on YouTube. That's the only channel that we have for it.
All right. And so obviously, at the time of this filming, you just put out your 350,000 subscriber video. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Coming out on the horizon that people should look out for?
Lots of live streams, probably 2 live streams a day, a lot of IRL live streams at the casinos, and then, once again, that travel series is going to be awesome where we travel to different states, maybe even countries. That's still in the works. Yeah, like I said, it's just going to be a lot of content coming out. So definitely keep an eye out for that. It's going to be all over the place.
Hey, everybody, go subscribe to Bluffin Bob on all the channels. One more time, Bobby, can you give us the coordinates where they can find you?
Yeah. Okay, so Instagram is just Bluff, BLUFF. YouTube is Bluffin Bob. TikTok is Bluffin Bob. Facebook, there's a million pages of them, but there's only one Bluffin Bob. Unfortunately, I can't really describe it because there is a million of them. Everyone has been making them. So,
man, it's awesome. It's been such a pleasure talking to you, and I'm just so excited to see a great guy like you. Just your channel is just taking off, and we got to do this again. Check in 6 months, a year when you're at 1 million, because you're definitely heading in that direction.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, it was great to talk to you. It was great to meet you. And yeah, I'm super excited for the future. So thanks again.